My name's Paul Sinclair, and I'd like to introduce you today to a series of videos highlighting my research into unexplained phenomena around East and North Yorkshire. If you like what you see, please subscribe to this YouTube channel or find our Truth Proof page on Facebook. Is there other things we can discuss?
Oh, the first one I saw was right funny at the time, but I was driving a forklift in Weir Housing Corporation, a building firm,
Is
huge.
this Scotland?
Scotland, Coatbridge, and a huge building firm it was, and as I turned the forklift round with a big 20-foot lift on it, the chap that was with me started banging on the side of the forklift, and I just ignored him because I could see everything was all right.
Yeah.
And when I put the lift down, I slid the window open. I says, "What is wrong?" He says, "Forget it, you've missed it." So picked another lift, went across, picked another lift up, turning round, banging on the side of the door again, and I opened the window and he says, "Look, look, look."
Right.
So I gets out and I was looking 400 yards away from us. And this was in a steelworks, at the edge of a steelworks, which was the boundary between the two factories, which had old World War tanks and all kinds of old World War stuff, all in this great big open field area. It was all rough,
Yeah.
trees and bushes, and this thing rose up, I don't know, about 80 feet.
Do you think it had landed?
No, it came from the ground.
Yeah. So it had. Yeah.
And it was, you know, them bouncy balls that kids play on.
Yeah.
It was bigger than that.
Yeah.
It was about that, and it was bright orange.
Once again, orange. Yes.
It was
Crazy.
I don't mean a glowing orange.
No.
It wasn't a light. But it was bright, and it was floating up in the air. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, what is he getting excited about? It's a balloon. Till it stopped, and I'm still looking at it, and then it went off at an angle.
Right.
I don't mean fast. I mean it just went off at an angle.
Right.
And the funny thing was, Paul, the wind was blowing in my face, and this was going away from us.
Oh, it's the opposite direction.
And I looked at him and he said to me, "If you say anything about this in the canteen, I will deny it."
That's strange, and that's the mindset of most people. Not just people who've never seen one who sort of laugh and make fun of you for describing what you've just seen, Gordon, but the actual people. Prime example, your friend of however many years ago doesn't even want to acknowledge that he's seen such a thing. Just one interesting thing there, Gordon. You said it was about this big. You were looking at it from 400 yards away.
Yeah.
Now, would it have been actually bigger when you got up to it? That's
within 6 inches or
I see.
either way.
Yeah, you know what? I only say this because I interviewed a lady called Leslie Buttle. And we described this object that she'd seen over a timber yard and over some allotments at Bessingby. And I said it was over the roofs and over the allotments. And I said, how big would it be if you were looking at it? And she said, well, I'd estimate it to look, if you projected a small car into the sky at that distance away, then it would be that big.
Yeah.
It didn't look as big, but you know, I hope you can sort of understand what I'm trying to get at. I just didn't know whether this orange object that you'd seen would have been actually bigger if we'd have got closer to it.
Slightly.
Slightly,
yeah.
No sounds.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. But
and you've described area, but was it a remote area other than that?
To the right of us was a housing estate, just over a fence, and a gatehouse. Which led out of the factory to an old bridge of a redundant railway track, and that was to the left of that, right on the border between the two, and there were two big factories. I'll tell you that. I mean, it was.
So there's nothing to explain something that moves away at an angle into the wind.
I was flabbergasted.
And it wasn't a pulsing light then. It was just a bright orange.
Just bright, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a light. It was just bright orange.
Very strange, yeah. And did it literally go to a dot and disappear, or did
it just?
I suppose all them years ago, Gordon, you're not going to be thinking I'm going to document this, and
no.
You're just giving us a snapshot of a memory, but and a good one as well, and an interesting overview of what most people, I would say, bulk of people think when they've seen these things. They either want to shut it off and don't want to deal with it because they can't explain it, which is what your friend did, and they were going to probably get a bit stroppy with you if you'd have started talking about it.
Well, I never spoke about it at all till I was sitting in this chair reading the Sunday paper, and a woman was talking about these orange blobs in California.
Right.
And she was talking about more than one.
Yeah.
And she described accurately what I had seen all them years ago.
Yeah, the previous.
And I went, oh, somebody else has seen this. And I was sitting here elated, to be honest.
Yeah, it sort of verified what you'd said.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a long time ago, and we're never going to trace this guy now. But what do you think he'd have said now? Do you think his views would have never changed? Is that the way he was?
He would never have changed. No. I mean, he was about 15 years older than me.
Yeah.
But no, he would never have changed. No.
It's something that I find fascinating, actually, that people can deny what their own eyes are telling them, or they're looking for something plausible. I suppose that's what we do as humans, isn't it? We do look for a plausible answer to everything, but when there isn't, we've got to start and sort of accept the fact that there are other things that we might never have an explanation for.
True, yeah.
And I think you've got one of them, and that's Daxton Place.
Yeah. There was another occasion up in Scotland, and between a place called Calder Bank and Green Gairs, which is two country villages we were in between both, right out in the country, no houses. The only thing that was close to us was a farm. We were working at an old mine, doing demolition work, and this was at the time of the QE2 got launched.
Okay.
Because just after the QE2 got launched, we went in and we dismantled the dock that was alongside where it got launched from.
Right.
At John Brown Shipyard. But we were working there, all the gang, one day in the yard, and clear blue sky, and we were looking up. It can only describe as like a flattened rugby ball.
Right. Silver.
And it was just sitting in the sky. And it was there for ages. God knows everybody, that thing's still there, you know.
Oh, so the guys were observing it
and working away.
Yeah.
That thing is still there. So I said to the boss, Jack, go and phone up RAF Lossiemouth and tell them about this thing. And he came back kind of laughing. And I says, what are you laughing at? He said, RAF Lossiemouth says it's an escape weather balloon. So I looked up at it. I said, Jack, go back and tell them it's gave itself up.
Yeah. And obviously, if it's a balloon, it's going to be moving. This thing's just
This was
static.
big. I mean, and I'll tell you, since I went on Facebook and Malcolm Robinson, he lived in that area, and so he was interested in UFOs and all that. Well, I've looked on the map, and from where we were working to the direction we were looking at this thing, which was, I'd say, about 5 miles away. Yeah. It was towards Falkirk, Bonnybridge.
Right, and there are a lot of sightings around Falkirk and Bonnybridge. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And so how long did this escaped weather balloon that never moved stay in the sky?
It must have been there about an hour.
Yeah. Once again.
But we forgot all about it and just
And isn't it strange though that the RAF Lossiemouth, that is what it were that you contacted, they just gave a staple explanation that bulk population just swallowed and thought, well, that's acceptable.
We thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, because you knew it weren't.
Well, if it was a weather balloon, it'd be moving.
Yeah, and if it were tethered, it wouldn't be escaped. No. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, brilliant. Honestly, 3 really interesting sightings. I mean, we've not proved existence of visitors from other planets, but we've actually discussed things that there's no rational explanation for them, Gordon, is there?
No, well, the only time I was on my own was when I saw that giant plate.
Yeah.
The other times I've described, I had people with me who saw exactly what I saw and couldn't explain it at all.
That's really interesting. It really is. I mean, the Lossiemouth one is interesting because somewhere you've given us an approximate date with the QE2 and dismantling. Dismantling the dock.
Yeah, it was after the QE2 got launched.
And so somewhere within records of the RAF or the MOD, there's going to be something logged.
I would expect so, because I know he went into the office and phoned. I know he did, and he came back, and that's what he said. It's a weather balloon. Escape weather.
It's interesting, isn't it? The staple explanation that them days were weather balloons. And as times have changed and years have rolled on, we've got different staple explanations. We're seeing similar things, but we don't use weather balloons as an explanation now. Do you know what I mean?
But how can an escape weather balloon sit in the same spot?
Well, I think we know it can't. What year were we? Do you think then, or is that we probably?
Right, this year I'll be 74. I was 26.
26. We'd have to do maths, and Paul's not brilliant at maths.
Nah, neither am I.
So, but no, we can work
it around that time.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Gordon.
But it amused us when they said it's an escape weather balloon.
How many men observing it?
6.
6. So, I mean, the 6 men all echoing same things, that this thing's not moving.
We found it amusing that they said it was a weather balloon. We've all laughed about it.
Any aircraft activity around it?
No.
Nothing
at all.
Very good. Thank you. That's brilliant observations, Gordon. Thank you for sharing them with us today. Thank you.
Please subscribe to this channel by clicking the icon. Click on the notification bell to get notification of future videos.